So when you think about search, the Google piece, the demand piece, pulling 10, you're basically thinking about what's my business goal. And I think this is the most important thing for you to ask when you're running your company, which is like, what is the outcome of my time and energy and dollars to make my business grow? And so the key thing to ask is like, what do I actually want to happen? Do I want a bunch of people to come to my website? Do I want to sell a lot of things? What are they actually buying? Does my media produce that? Do I want to download a white paper or get me an email subscription, or do I want them to buy my whatever? I mean, you need to know that question very specifically. And then you need to understand is, who is in my audience that's going to do that, right? And so ironically, a lot of it's done in an analog way, unbiased. And I think, not to get into my entrepreneurial talk, but in building a company, you have to be the best in the world at building it backwards, right? Unbiased. Like, we're very passionate, right, about our business. But I also can drive Clickable into a ditch, the whole company, because my bias could be too strong. And so the only thing that really matters is, what does your customer say, and what does the data say? And so if you're not, when you're building a company, if you're not out talking to the largest audience that's available to you as fast as you can, to get that answer, it really doesn't matter what you think. Because you actually don't know. But you have an idea. Now the question is, how do I get my product to market fit to happen? And so the question of the different types of formats between search and social and how you get there, that answer will be told to you because you know the answer of the product market fit question, which is, I know what I'm selling against this goal and people are willing to buy it or participate in growing it. Does that make sense? And so get that answer first. What is my goal? And what do I have to do to convince someone to part with their money, their time, their attention, their friends, whatever it is. And then that will actually tell you that profile of the attributes to achieve that goal will then tell you what format should I be marketing in. And quite frankly, the answer might completely surprise you because you may be looking for your keys in the light and they're in the dark alley where something else is. And so you need to be really, really great at that. And so let's assume for a second that you all know exactly what your goal is, the value of the target customer, what they want, their interest, all that stuff, what they're searching for. Let's say assume you spent probably 3 months full-time answering that question. And so if you haven't done it, I always tell people just stop. Just stop what you're doing. Stop building until you know that answer. Because you have no idea what you're building. And I'm extremely direct in our culture about getting those answers at every aspect of business. I am aggressive. Polite, but very aggressive about finding those things. I think you need to do that too. Okay, so let's say you know the answer to the goal. So what search is going to do is really about the leap to goal-based advertising. Now I know my goal. Search really does that well because it really, these are some big buckets, and I don't want to go too deeply into this, but I will send you this deck so you can, do some reading, and hopefully someone will get in. But the ability to track things, optimize them, attribute to where they're coming from, and profit is the key things here. So I don't want to go into that. Actually, this is going to be too complex. So the specific outcome, as I mentioned, clarifying your exact offerings, because now you know your goal, now you know what you need to offer, knowing exactly where you believe your target audience is going to be, and start building on that. So now I know people who are looking for daily lit are in this band of, they've been using an iPhone, not an iPad, but an iPhone for, let's say, 2 years. They've bought 10 apps. The perishability app is 6 weeks. I need to hit them with email into the device and be linking stories that can immediately upload the device. The hardest kind of friction for me to grow is to get people to read on the device, know I'm the place to read, and to connect them with new content they actually can consume. And so my business problem is to solve that cycle of optimization and do it for my target audience. And so, and because time and attention is so rare, I gotta spoon feed this. Short of you just wiring the information to my brain, you have to get very, very close to doing that, right? Now you're gonna be smarter and more interesting, and you're gonna have read all the classics on your commute. So I would want to know that, how do people consume daily content? Well, 90% is on a train. Okay, well then I want to market every geography near train stops in New York, every tier 1 city, in this target band. That's it. And I'll only do that until I get the marketplace to rip it out of me, until I build backwards on big building on that. And so clarifying your offering and the target and how people consume it and what they want, and then building on it, going into search and social, start telling that story and looking at the data. Oh, I was very effective at selling my product over social because I targeted all the book club people reading all the classes because they said I was interested in that stuff. And now I told them that now I know how to read on a train. The easiest way to read a classic on a train is bang, VID00008. Now, there might be 50 different channels around that, but you're learning exactly how people are using this tool. And you might actually be able to build a marketplace that no one had ever seen before because you're the best in the world at listening and communicating that value to those people who are saying, hey, listen to me, I have a need. And so a lot of things pinpoint and harnessing the force to impact success. So I'm just riffing here, but I'm inferring that once you have an inkling of truth about who's achieving your product market goal, you can build radically on it. Because now, the signal that someone says, I love VID00008 reputationally, and they're going to give a testimony there, now I can see in social search all the keywords around it that are also driving traffic, and I can bid into those. And I can spend or not spend into them in search. And I also in social, now I can see all the interest of my friends of that person. So if I have one passionate VID00008 because they're a fan, I want to get to every single person who has similar demographics and are already a fan of theirs in other places. And it's just this, it's the social graph. It's all the interconnections of our relationships. Make sense? And so that's what social will do. And so now it's a question of how do you actually maximize that and build on that. So practically speaking, and I can go very deep in actually how to do this, but those are the key things in the framework of how you spend your time and energy. It's easy to go, grab the rod and reel and throw a lure on that and feel excited you're getting stuff done, right? You could be in the wrong lake, you could be in the wrong ocean, and so you need to know the fish you're targeting and where to be at all times. And you don't need to do it everywhere. There's huge schools of fish that you could just fish out for the next decade and build a huge company from. You don't have to be known in what you do. You just need to be known by the people who matter.